Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Welcome to March and welcome to allergy hell. Oh my goodness, man, I'm suffering today. But I know I'm not alone. I know everybody who deals with allergies is going through it, especially if you live in a desert, especially if you're dealing with the wind that's just kicked up now. But, took some stuff because I'm at the house. I don't really have to worry about being anywhere else. So I should be feeling a little bit better. Probably a little bit drowsy towards the end of the show, but right now I'm doing all right. And this is our first show of any kind in the month of March. It just seems like the other day we were in October, and now here we are in month 3 of the year, and just everything starts to hit really, really fast. I mean, I got WonderCon later this month. I got WrestleMania the following month, and then a few months after that, a month after that, we had a amazing Comic-Con. Oh man, that's great hair. Amazing Comic-Con, which is here, and I will be getting a table at that as well. Hold on for a second. I don't like the way that light's doing my mustache here. Hold on. Or is that just gray hair? Yeah, it's gray hair. I don't know if we're going to have a Brad tonight. I definitely know he's never going to be on time. That's always a surprise when that happens. There we go. Okay, but yeah, tonight is an open topic. Like I said last night, I when it came to this show, I pretty much got everything that I needed to get out as far as topical stuff. So since you're here, please like, subscribe, share, do all that kind of things. And nothing really happened today that was notable, not good or bad. I mean, obviously we got we have military actions and stuff in the Middle East. This is a clusterfuck. Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now on the news. I've been on the planet quite a bit. I grew up. I was 4 years old when the revolution happened in Iran. I was 9 years old when the Beirut bombings happened. Not a big fan of regime change. in the history of the United States, it's really never gone well. It's really never gone well. Um, if you look at, things like, the church hearings and things like that, where the CIA used to do it, we've never really been good at it. I mean, I served in a war that involved two, because Afghanistan and Iraq were both never really works out, and it definitely doesn't work out from the air. We had boots on the ground in Afghanistan and Iraq. I mean, we were there. I mean, we had hundreds of thousands of soldiers in those two regions, and those regime changes didn't work out. So they generally don't. They generally don't. So yeah, there you go. That's all I'll say on that one. So let's say hi to the chat. Like I said, if I mute or go off screen, it's because I'm sneezing to hell, like right now. Hello, Duckman. William David Ellison is apparently a geek nerd and a fan of Star Trek, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, and DC. Is this good for those franchises? Not really. I mean, I won't say not really. I'll say not necessarily, because you could be a fan at something and still and still run it into the ground. There are plenty of examples where fans have been ahead of things. Just because you're a fan of things doesn't mean you're good at executing a vision of things. I mean, I hope he is. I don't want to see Star Trek harmed. I think I think Star Trek fans do enough harm to Star Trek to where whoever is running it should be the bellwether. It should be the person that hopefully making it right. As far as Ninja Turtles goes, the only decision I know of his is not to do Last Ronin. So I don't know if is he a fan of Ninja Turtles or is he a fan of the fluff. If he was a fan of the fluff, I don't know. That's still a Turtles fan, but as far as what that means for the franchise, I don't know. I mean, how long can we keep doing fluff? And Transformers, he can't hurt Transformers. Sorry. So I hate to say that, but I don't think he can hurt Transformers. And right on cue, Brad. Let's see. Hello, how are you doing? I had one of two Aussies in here. The other one is Droga. What's going on? My PlayStation arrived. Playing Spider-Man 2000. Also started reading Ultimate Spider-Man 2024. It's about to wrap up. You got about a couple more. I think issue 24 just came out a week or so ago, and I think that's it. So, but yeah, you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy it. I think you will. Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right, you guys got me then? That's not very long, I guess.
Yeah, it's just I don't want to sneeze. How you doing, Azteca? Headed to Mexico City. Hey, be careful, man. Ever since they got out El Menche, I know it's calmed down a bit, but be careful. I know the cool season in Vegas goes quickly. Yeah, we're already. We were in the 80s all week. It's gonna come down to like 64 degrees in the next couple of days, but it's still gonna be above normal. And then there we get April, all that fucking rain in April. Hopefully, we have a dry April since we've had a weird other rest of the year. But they always say April showers bring May flowers, and I'm like, we've had enough. And then come May, June, July, you know what that means. Yeah, and I'm gonna try to mute because I hate the way that sounds. I wish I had a mute button like right here so I could push it, but it's a mouse because I hate the way sniffling sounds on air when people do it on their shows. It drives me fucking insane. Because you got to realize you're talking into a mic when you do it. That's why I try to put my hand over here, but so I'll do my best. You are older than me, Clint, so that means you are as well. Wow, that sneeze almost took my head off. William, get your helmet. Oh no, I'm out. I am out. Here's the thing. wherever you want to say, let's go all the way back. So when I was born, Gerald Ford was president. I mean, he was only president for a couple of, he just taken over for Nixon. Nixon had left office. So I was born. It was Gerald Ford. Then it was Jimmy Carter. Then it was Ronald Reagan, and I grew up with Ronald Reagan pretty much, in my teens, and then after that it was George H.W. Bush. Then after that it was Bill Clinton, and after that W, and then after that Obama, and then Trump, Biden. In my lifetime, like I said at the beginning of the show, this nation building thing, we aren't good at it in modern era. So it never ends well. I don't care what political divide you're on. All you need to do is be paying attention and be smart enough to know your history. It's never. I mean, before I was born, you go to the Vietnam era. We don't do nation building well. That's why most presidents in the modern era, going from they weren't doing it from like the Vietnam era all the way up until OIF, because even the operation the 1991 the Iraqi Freedom, not Iraqi Freedom, what was the one? The Desert Storm. Desert Storm was a nation building. It was to drive a force out of a place that they invaded, and then we got the hell out of there. We don't have the stomach for nation building. And the only way you can affect any kind of a military change in anywhere you go is you have to be in there. You can't do it from 30,000 feet up because there's too many elements on the ground you can't control. And like I said, we were in Iraq. I got a little flag in a case for my time. We were in Iraq with 130,000 people in the theater. And we were still losing a lot of people. We still had to deal with ISIS. We still had to deal with Al Qaeda in Kuwait. Or Al Qaeda in Iraq. We still had to deal with insurgencies. And that's being there with your tanks, with your air support, with all that stuff. Afghanistan, same thing. It was not sustainable. So when you hear the words regime change, A, we haven't been good at it. B, the light successes that we have had, look what we had to do just to get that, and how that ended long term. So yeah, it's going to be a lot. Now, how does this affect Geek? Shit. Next year you got a WrestleMania over in the Middle East. You have a lot of these companies that are involved in entertainment that have their leverage coming from that region of the world.
And we got a merger, with a company that's backed by that has Saudi funds supporting it.
So Saudi, Emirates, all kinds of stuff. When times of stability come around, war, people start changing their minds about stuff. But that's coming from a military perspective. That's not coming from Geek William. That's coming from somebody who got on a plane, flew 10,000 miles around the world, got off that plane, looked around and saw what was going on, came back and saw how it wrapped up. And I'm like, and anybody wants to dispute me, can where it just hasn't happened. We generally stay out of it. So,
I mean, my dad was in a Desert Storm, and then he'd retired from active duty by the time he went to Afghanistan. But he was still he's civilian employee. He was still deployable. We did two tours at that point, 09, or it was 09 in 2010, and then again 2013 into 2014. That's actually when he came back the second time, and he was very adamant. Okay, this is my last one I'm doing, because he was getting good money to do those tours, but he said, okay, it's like this is it. It was right when my grandmother died. It was actually the last. She was the last of my grandparents.
All right, Brad is spinning. Are you frozen or am I frozen? Which one of us is frozen, chat? Tell me. Okay, so it's Brad. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and read this question until he comes back. Question, William, remember when you yeah, so it's Brad. When you license people like DC, you said, what, dude, am I reading your question right, or am I just messed up? Remember when you licensed people, DC, like you said about Zack Snyder's Justice League to license his stuff? Would WBD do it, or for James? There's always a possibility. Whenever you're talking about licensing, it's all about demand and deal making. So there's always a possibility. And I don't know how much of one because I'm not in those offices, but yeah, there's always a possibility. Thoughts on Tubi's? I don't have any. I'm sorry. I didn't even know they had one. Hold on.
You mute, man.
Because I was avoiding a sneeze. His contract is up. They don't have to. They don't have to really do anything. But wait, and if he's offered a contract and does not accept it, then you know what's going on. But if they don't offer him a contract, then you know what's going on. But right now, they don't have to do anything with James Gunn, but be there when he becomes a free agent.
Anyway, as I was saying before, StreamYard so rudely interrupted me. Yeah, when my dad got back the second time, that was right when my grandmother died. So that was kind of a turning point for the whole family because, a lot of people say it's like when the grandparents died, then the family, I don't know, breaks up is the right word, but I mean, there was definitely I have been to, my grandparents were from Ohio. I've been there now in about, God, almost 14 years now. And a lot of my family kind of from there, we just kind of disseminated from that point. And my cousin, I think, is the only one still living up there. But anyway, I just kind of like tied together in my mind. So I was going to go down that road when I talk about that point in time. But anyway, I always look back on that when he got back in 2014 as because when did we pull out of Afghanistan? Like 22.
Yeah.
It's like I look back on that. It's like, oh, I'm so glad he got out there when he did, because and like the path he had to take to get there and back. I mean, he's like going from Afghanistan, he's flying to Kazakhstan, and then he just kind of left alone by himself on the tarmac, waiting for the guy to come and get him. Say, here's your plane, and then I mean, it would take him like a whole day of like connecting flights to get back stateside, like back home, and without going too much in like opinions on like what we're doing in Afghanistan and Iraq. I mean, I think we can all agree like the pull out from Afghanistan, that was not handled well.
It wasn't handled well, but the genesis of it was started. You had negotiations. The way that broke down is the Afghan government wasn't even a part of the negotiations about the U.S. Being pulled out of there and how that went down. They were literally not part of the negotiations, and a date was set. And a drawdown had begun between the administrations, and yeah, it was a clusterfuck there.
I mean, I'd still look back at like the images of like people like clinging onto planes they're taking off, and it was and now we've got this situation unfolding. I mean, I'm still like, I mean, I remember like during like the Bush years where there was always like talk. I mean, and hell, with 300 was coming out, there was talk of it. That was when Zack Snyder first started catching a lot of flack in the media, because there was talk about it. He's like, this is like he's demonizing Iran, and it's like we're on the brink of war with Iran, and I mean, it's you've seen it so much in the headlines, the idea that we're like this close to war with Iran at any given moment, but then it finally something in that direction happens, and it's pretty I mean, it's pretty scary to think of the implications of this.
It is, but you know what? We have a democratically elected government. You own it as a people. Yeah, you voted. He didn't. You know, these people don't take office by coup. No matter how many dumb conspiracies, people who don't know their asshole from their ears will tell you that Donald Trump or Barack. None of these people put on a mask and snuck into the White House and sat at the Roosevelt desk. Somebody put them there. So, and that's why when I always hear about people who have a problem when things like this go on in the world. And most of the people, not all of them, but most of the people don't ever want to be part of, the political system. They don't. Half of them don't even vote. And I'm like, you're basically you're as big as part of the problem is whatever is going on in the world. So like I said, if you don't, if there's ever a given time where you don't like the way politics or government is running, or whatever, your healthcare, all that kind of stuff. You have, you have tools at your disposal. If you don't use them, I don't want to hear from you, to be honest with you. So let's see. What is this with the lesbian seagulls? What are you guys doing? I don't get it.
Seagull out of a.
Is that supposed? Am I supposed to laugh? Okay. I haven't watched Beavis and Butthead in 30 years. The last time I watched Beavis and Butthead, it was on Saturday Night Live when Ryan Gosling and Mikey Day played them. That's it. I don't watch that.
Okay. Fourth. I went and saw Scream 7. I'll talk a little more about the movie itself in a minute here. So, and that the trailer is playing in front of that. It looks like shit. It will be shit because this entire series is shit. I will not be seeing this shit. And the most hilarious thing that could happen is when they put my most anticipated movie, the Year of the Furious. If they put that out the same day, I'd be seeing that day. But I won't be seeing Scary Movie 6.
All right, guys.
Garbage. It will continue to be garbage. It will never ascend above garbage.
Open topic doesn't mean talk about stupid shit that I wouldn't talk about if we had a talk. I don't fucking care about Scary Movie. I didn't care about Scream. So let's if you want to engage in a conversation, there has to be something on the table I give a shit about. You guys are drifting into shit I don't fucking care about. So let's come back on to the main waterway here, and and the obscure jokes. I don't get them. What are you guys doing in the chat? I don't get what you guys are doing. You're having your own chat. I haven't, like I said, I've sent people to. Brad was the only person. I don't even know what's film jokes. Brad was the only person that didn't call it dog shit.
But I didn't. I would say I loved it, but I mean, it's I'm not really feeling the hate on it. It was it has some cool kind of concepts in it, or like the Stu's house. It opens with the one of the OG ghost faces. His house has been turned into like a kind of almost like a amusement park attraction where it has like a mechanical ghost face in it, and there's a phone you can pick up where you like talk to like a a ghost face voice on the other end, and it's for me it was like kind of like pretty middle of the road as far as this Scream franchise is. For me, the peak really is the first two. Those are the best of the franchises.
One of the quotes I heard is, if you've seen a Scream movie, you don't need to come out. I mean, somebody actually did a review for me. I didn't even post it yet. Dave said, if you've seen a Scream movie, you've seen this one, and it was pretty much a waste of time. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, I saw
not that. By the way, I was never going to see it to begin with.
I mean, I saw Campy as like his thoughts on it too, where he's like, now this is absolutely hyperbolic, where he says he'd do a marathon of Morbius, Madam Web.
Matt, he said Madam Web, yeah,
and Kraven the Hunter. It's like, no, there's no rational basis to say that it's anywhere in the realm of like.
I've heard reviews he fucked that movie up. It was so. Listen to John Campion's review of Scream 7.
He goes a little over the top.
So funny,
on some of these
but
things.
He's right along. I haven't heard a good review about it yet. I mean, yours is about as close.
I mean, I will say without getting like conspiratorial or accusatory about it towards anybody. I mean, there is a controversy attached to this the latest Scream, not just with like Nev Campbell. He had like a pay dispute behind the scenes, which considering this is the biggest opening weekend of the franchise, I'd say, well, it was smart on her part to hold out for more money, but there's a controversy with the exit of Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega from the for the last one into this one. Not going to go into like specifics. I mean, look it up. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people already know what it's about. Is relating to geopolitics. I mean, I'm not gonna stay outright. I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight of the Scream franchise as far as like being like I said, this is. I mean, I like the series, but this is like middle of the road for the series for me. But I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable to posit whether or not a lot of the really venomous reactions are somewhat, driven by people being, really in the corner of the two actresses who were respectively fired and departed from the last movie into this one. I mean, journalists, it's like we're people too. We have personal biases. We have we have thoughts on geopolitics. With that, that's people's right to think whatever you want to, one way or the other, about the Israel-Gaza conflict. But again, having seen this one, it's like, again, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but some of the responses being as loudly negative as they are, I mean, there's a part of me that thinks, is this at least somewhat driven by a
Probably
somewhat
not.
ulterior motive?
Probably not, because you know why? You know why? Most people couldn't find those two places on a map and aren't paying attention.
Well, I'm talking about the audience, because again, it's like the
that's what I mean. The people who have.
I'm talking.
Listen, a movie can be dog. A movie can be dog shit without politics being involved. A movie can be dog shit, and people feel like their time was wasted and not have any of that involved.
But I mean, again, I'm not saying camping specifically is an example of that, even though, again, that it is absolutely hyperbole to say it's anywhere near as bad as Morbius or Madam Web. But again, it's like I've been in this world. I've worked with a lot of these people.
Well, you're talking about critics. Who fucking cares about them?
So again, the idea that that people approach these things and that there's never any entrance of like external factors into people's analysis of these things. If there's a big controversy or a big issue attached to it, I've seen firsthand that is definitely not the case.
Given the declining quality of the franchise, I doubt it. I think the movie probably just sucked. But one of the trailers looked good, the other one looked like shit. The franchise has lost its steam. It needs to end. So
does Scary Movie.
Hold on. When I'm talking about Scream, I'm not justifying Scream 7 with the Scary Movie. I could do without that as well. But it's sometimes these franchises run out and you end up just making bad movies. Now, this one's going to make a decent amount of money in the first week, but I don't think it's going to make that much next week. I think the word of mouth that I'm hearing, it really wouldn't matter. It could be Tom and Jerry. The word of mouth that I'm hearing from the people who've seen it, some of whom paid, some of whom I sent, none of them, like I said, you're the closest thing to a positive rating.
But it's like I've again, having been in this, in this world,
and when I'm not talking about critic people, I sent civilians.
I've learned over the years not to, when somebody comes out of something and when you hear like nonstop, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
It could be the worst thing that they've ever seen.
It is advisable to like question whether or not this is just a dog pile.
Not really. Did the world politics? If Howard the Duck had world politics behind it, and it was still a shitty movie,
this is in absolutely no way Howard the Duck. And by the way, going back to that real quick, because we're gonna finish your point, and then I'll bring it back to the.
No, I got a feeling, judging from the temperament of the people that I sent, just based on it, that they thought it was trash, regardless to the underlying situation. You may have some critics. Critics are not the audience, though. I sent people who are not critics, and I haven't heard. I don't pay attention. You already know. I could give two shits about what a critic says, but the actual backbone of the industry, which is the actual customer, I haven't heard anything good about it. I had never planned to see it, so I'm not really emotionally attached to it. I'm done with the Scream franchise because I think the Scream franchise is done. But I don't think that had really much anything to do with it. It just sounds like they made a bad movie.
Well, again, it's like I this question with like a lot of the evidently hyperbolic reactions I've seen.
I don't think John. I don't think John Campea. I mean, I got from it that he hated the movie. You know, I didn't.
Yeah, I
get
hate.
that
There are a
was
lot of things. There are a lot of movies I hate, but I don't go to like it's Morbius bad on it. It can be bad without.
He does it
that
all the
level.
time, though. He does it all the time. He will go sit at a movie and he will come out and he will give a review and say it's dog shit.
Well, speaking of reviewing movies that have divisive reactions,
Yeah.
you guys may have seen on Twitter earlier. I did have to educate William
Geez,
earlier
you
this
educate
evening.
me on shit.
William, he's
Let me answer this real quick. Yeah, we don't need SAG. This is coming. So yeah.
Oh, and Aaron's got one kind of related to that. Question for Brad: do you think stunt union will go on strike? So,
they don't have any choice. What are they going to do?
Yeah,
do stunts for kids at puppet shows? They're going to have nowhere to go.
If SAG strikes, yeah, they're definitely going to strike. Yeah.
That would be hilarious if they could do it without them, but I think they got to go. Please don't bring this up because you're just going to fucking annoy me. You're already tiptoeing on
I'm showing people how I enlightened you earlier this evening.
You enlightened me to shit. I enlightened you.
Williams, he's a smart businessman. Obviously, he's kept the side business going for 30 years. But it's like again, he's
where's my
he's human as the rest of he's human as the rest of us.
All right, first of all, we need to stop this. Because this fool, my co-host, is going to try to justify to me.
This gentleman. Amir Khan, he just put out, tweets like name the worst movie you ever watched. William said it's a three-way tie between Howard the Duck, Mystery Men, and Do Where's My Car in no particular order. They're all equally suck. I had to fill William in on some crucial, context he was missing here. Because William is like, again, great host of Sci-Fi Center, great businessman, but again, it's like sometimes it's like he doesn't always like connect the dots like he should on some of the historical context of things. So.
Historical and this right here, I wish I could have you struck by lightning trying to give credit to that bullshit
because
pile of shit movie
because there's not a single word I typed here that
would absolutely garbage. You should be drug tested.
If Mystery Men came out,
you should have your nostrils checked.
I'm muting William right now, so because if Mystery Men were released a decade 15 years later, we would never have gotten
it would still bomb
it wouldn't have because it came out at the wrong time. It came out
any time for that shit begotten movie was the wrong time.
What it just come out?
That is not a CBM.
Batman. Yes, it is. It's based on the Flaming Carrot comics.
It's a fucking farce, dude.
But it's a hilarious farce, and it's a cult classic now. But then that exemplifies my point. That's if it had come out actually when
this is embarrassing.
CBMs were like booming, we're booming, we're massive.
You're embarrassing yourself.
What did we just have? We had Batman and Robin.
We did not have Mystery Men.
We had Batman and Robin. We had Steel, and we had Spawn, and we like the year prior to Mystery Man, we had Blade, which wasn't even like marketed heavily as a comic movie. So it's like, again, what are you satirizing when you come out in '99? When superhero movies it's like they're here and
there.
Why
can't you just accept this as a garbage movie?
Because it's not. It's a cult classic.
And like I said, you're doubling down on nonsense. You're not only trying to defend this movie as the absolute steaming pile of shit that it is.
Okay, William, I'm gonna have to take William off.
You're trying.
So anyway, it's a cult classic.
You're trying to give it influence where it does not belong.
No, I'm pointing out the indisputable. Like no person with who can look at the
lost your fucking mind.
The superhero genre can deny if Mystery Men came out 10 to 15 years later when there was a thriving landscape of comic book movies that was ripe for being satirized. It would have not only been a hit, it would have taken the place of The Boys. We would never have gotten
you absolutely listen to this. I want you guys to listen to this
timeline.
Yeah. All right.
And they're all
I do not influence his opinion. The opinions of Brad do not reflect the show because that's some bullshit.
That's some bullshit.
That is some absolute laughable
and he tried to fight back on this. See, he thinks I'm on coke.
No, there's you. I gave you had the yayo. And you had to be having your face.
And here's the context I give. It's like, okay, so Mystery Men, the comparison to The Boys, corporate sponsored, egotistical superheroes coexist in a world where more pure-hearted vigilantes whose powers and skill set are decidedly more improvised, presented within the framework of a satirical comedy. Yes, Mystery Men.
That is not a new formula.
Mystery Men. Mystery Men was the boys for the
embarrassing.
boys.
I'm embarrassed for you.
You don't get the boys, even like in our current time, like you don't get the boys without Mystery Men. Mystery Men laid the groundwork for the boys.
I can't. Somebody's gonna clip this, and they're gonna make you look like a fool.
No, they're gonna agree with me,
and they're not even gonna have to edit it. They're not even gonna have to edit this.
Me because it's like there's no rational basis to dispute this.
Oh my goodness!
Like it laid the groundwork for the boys.
Did you send Brad some of your weed, some of your magical?
It laid the groundwork for the boys. And then
it did not lay the groundwork.
If it had come out 10 to 15 years later,
oh my god!
It come out 10 to 15 years later, it would have replaced the boys in that timeline. So,
anyway,
guys, I just thought I'd highlight this.
What time? What's the timestamp?
I thought I'd highlight this.
Out of
like
again,
like William, he's a smart businessman, but again,
embarrassing yourself.
Brain cells just don't
embarrassing
always,
the channel.
So
embarrassing common sense.
You guys see how sometimes I have to bring William up to speed on these things. So.
That was making yourself look like a clown. You when it shows that guy putting on the nose and putting on the hat and the shoes and the hair.
Man. That's you in this.
That's you right now. That is you.
It's like Hong Kong man.
You are
Mystery
fully
Man,
putting
comedy
on
classic.
And
again, like
put on the makeup.
A long time.
Use your little horn.
And by the way, the cast are having talks of like doing a sequel. So it's like
they've been talking about that for how many? Yeah, sure.
But it's like this is like they're.
That is enough.
You guys see how like William he resists like facts and figures and important context sometimes. Like all of us, he has biases, he has idiosyncrasies sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't always register like just. I had to educate him earlier, as you saw that.
Yeah, if that's an education, I'll just stay dumb because.
Don't worry, I can take you back to summer school, man.
No, I mean you had to go to be the remedial kids.
We get Mystery Men 2 in like 3 years, like.
Okay. And then, like I said, you have the audacity to try to hold that up on some pedestal over equal trash. That is Scary Movie. So,
yeah, no, that is actual trash. No, it's comedy gold, actual trash. Scary Movie is actual trash.
Ghostface is a fucking jobber, man. And the only reason why Ghostface even gets as many people as he does, you know why? Because there's stupid cops in these movies. The Scream movies have some of the dumbest cops of any horror movie I've ever seen.
Like the only in the Scary Movie franchise. That's one of the only like legitimate, clever jokes it makes. It's like how much Ghostface gets beaten up when he's chasing around his victims.
Well, he ends up getting undone by the dumbest shit. I'm like, you put together these elaborate plans and you get undone like that. It's like it's worse than Scooby-Doo. Terrifier 4 is the finale. Oh wow, no more Terrifier movies. Fuck, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, again, that's the director. He put out a kind of like an update. Like, oh yeah, I'm like coming close to finishing up the screenplay, and the wording was like, this franchise, I want to give it like the best finale I can. Now, with all that said, I mean, it's like again, how much does the average Terrifier cost to make, and how much does it pull in? So, I mean
it's profitable, but I wouldn't think. I mean, it's got a limited. Listen, you can't take a family. I mean, you can, I guess. There's plenty, but
for
the most part, you can't. Yeah, you can't.
Your family's much showing if they're Terrifier 3.
I mean, you're gonna have crazy people with the kind of upbringing that I had that are okay with it, but for the most part, he's probably not a good bonding.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like when like 10 years ago when like Paranormal Activity was like the Ghost Dimension. It was marketed as and I'm a big fan of the franchise, and I told people, oh yeah, here, this is the last one, this is the finale, and everybody, all my friends I was talking about, they would all see, and you buy that. They make these movies for like $7, and you think this is going to be the last one.
And it's found footage. It's found footage. It costs $1 to make.
James Wan is like producing, which that actually gives me a lot of, because he's of course well respected in horror circles, and he the last couple I've found pretty underwhelming. So I'm pretty excited about his involvement with it.
I would rather literally, like I said, I would rather literally watch weeds grow than watch Paranormal. It's just not I don't like those movies, those shows, Ghost Hunt, all that stuff is, to me, it's like, what is this? But somebody else likes it, so let them. You want T4? I mean, 3 hours of what? 3 hours of that. I mean, you listen. Congratulations on you people who love that franchise and that really truly love it. More power to you.
I love the experience.
I'm done.
With the audience. It's like the last one because
That's about it.
Because 2, it's like it was gaining momentum at that point. It was the first one I saw was 2. And you can come into these like at least up until 3, I think you 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's not like we're dealing with the greatest story ever told here. You don't really
like there's like end credit scenes where it's like, oh, here's like the cameo of that character who sets up like this,
and it's not hard to put together. I mean, it's not like you need a degree to put the Terrifier movies together. So you can pretty much.
There was definitely when I saw 2, and then going to see 3 a few years later. I mean, there was definitely a noticeable increase in the audience turnout from 2 to 3, and my audience.
Well, because he's become a cult. He's become
like Mystery Man. It's a cult classic.
No.
Yeah. And he but really, I was like, when I went into 3, it's like I'm telling you, I probably a good thing I got in there when I did because I think I got like one of the last seats in there. I mean, this was like, in Savannah, we don't shows don't sell out here often, but I think that one came pretty close, and it was like people were ready. My audience, they were buckled in, and they were.
Well, I went midnight. You saw where I went. I went midnight, so I went like a midnight showing. Yeah, the little kids were dressed up. They were like little kids dressed up as Art the Clown. I'm like, and you're gonna sit your kids. And you're okay. And I'm like, everybody's listen. I'm not parent. I was raised on Jason. I was raised on Michael Myers. I was raised on so. I it's not like it's not a big stretch, but I'm like, the overkill that happens in that movie. I'm like,
literally.
The shower scene alone, and the kids were clapping and cheering and shit. I'm like, wow.
The shower scene, a dude literally, no exaggeration. If you haven't seen it, literally gets a chainsaw shoved up his ass.
So yeah,
there is nothing I said about that is like in any way like an exaggeration of what takes place. A man has a chainsaw shoved up his ass.
I grew up with trauma, so there you go. People online say that they are real DC fans. I really don't think anybody should ever try to determine who's a real DC fan, but that's just me. Their real DC fans are complaining about the Absolute Universe because over the fact that the whole line is making more money than me. Okay,
well that's just the free market. I mean.
There's a difference between people who hang out online and talk about comics and actual comic book fans sometimes. Sometimes there can be both. But for the most part, the people who are actually picking up and reading this stuff have spoken with their dollars. And not only with the Absolute Universe, they have carried Justice League Unlimited. They have carried Action Comics. Those comics are jumping up in sales too. So the comic book collector is not talking. The people who are online and say things out of context, and many of them who are not even reading these things or buying these things, they can say whatever the hell they want to. But the actual person who understands these IPs knows exactly how special Absolute Universe is and how it has reinvigorated all of DC, not just the actual books that it is in. I mean, DCKO, all these things have been reinvigorated. So, I would just go ahead and dismiss that. That's neat. All right. Kids have to learn something. Hey, listen, it's all about how your upbringing is. I mean, nobody's going to know you more as a kid than your parents. They watch you every day. They watch your tendencies. They see how you respond to things. And they're watching. My dad was watching to see if I grabbed the butcher knife and went after my sister or some crazy shit like that. Or if I used tactics and things that I saw, on TV. They were watching for that stuff. And had I adopted some of these things, I probably would have gotten cut off, but I never did. So every parent's going to be different. Every parent's going to know what their kids can take, what their kids can absorb, what their kids can comprehend. So, I mean, if you have a kid, a parent that's okay with Terrifier, listen, that mother and father or both is going to know their kid far more than I ever will. So I'm going to let them be the parent. You know what I mean? Well, I was raised on sauerkraut, so I only spent 2 years in Germany before I came to the States.
It's kind of paradoxical with like specifically a Terrifier, and the violence in it, I almost in a way kind of almost liken it to RoboCop in the sense that the blood and guts, it's intentionally portrayed in a way where it's like it's just so flamboyant and over the top. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's like Kill Bill. It's like Kill Bill was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's meant to be ridiculous. It's meant to be like this is again chainsaw like dude's ass, and there's geysers of blood, and
it's really poorly done blood, by the way, guys.
yeah.
They had
Well,
money
yeah,
for Terrifier
no,
3,
yeah.
and the blood looked like Kool-Aid and ketchup.
Well, I think it's also they wanted to. I mean, they have kind of like as far as like a the look of the movies, they do want this to look like early 80s. It's in some ways it's intentionally made to look very very lowbrow, low budget, kind of like something that would come of that era. So some of that is like it's not a matter of like just
It might be stylistic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't think I don't think Ellerson is going to reach down into the paper and staples. So I think Scott Snyder's fine. James Gunn is in his purview though because they're filmmakers. So, but I don't think it's going to be honest with you. I just don't think he's going to stay. I think once his contract is up, I think there's a good chance he bolts simply because the working environment is going to change. Even if he said, Dave Ellison says, I'm going to keep you, he could, there's no way you're going to be on the hook for $90 billion and not want to make decisions and shape, even, and you're going to fully expect that the people that you inherited are going to listen to you. But those people came in under a different regime that gave them autonomy. So it may just be the point where, he wants to go somewhere where that situation. And I truly believe that, Disney, Marvel would take him back in a heartbeat. Disney and Marvel would take him back in a heartbeat. So if he, and Kevin Feige, I don't believe Kevin Feige is going to be the head of Marvel forever. Eventually, he's going to want, and he's young enough to do this. He's going to want to, go and do, seek a new challenge. Just after Secret Wars, there's what's left to prove. That you can make $1 billion with a comic book movie, that you can make really good comic book movie. You've done that. You've done that for nearly 2 decades now. So I think that a guy like that's in his early 50s is going to want to go somewhere and put his stamp on something else. I would love to see him go do Star Wars. That would keep him within, that would keep him within the company, but he could go to another company, to take on a challenge. Like, when you're the game hunter and you've gotten all the game, it's time to switch to a different Outback, to a different Serengeti. So now, to me, that all lines up with James Gunn's contract either just up or about to be up. So because his contract is going to end here at the end of 2026, going into 2027. So unless, like I said, unless I wake up to an ironclad contract and not just he's been extended or he's signed. I mean something that is so locked tight that just looking at trying to get out of it hurts your eyes. I mean, if I'm James Gunn's lawyers and I want to stay for my tenure, I mean, autonomy is in there, massive buyouts that are probably worth more than the contract just to dissuade somebody from ever breaking it. So if I see that kind of contract coming out of there, then I'm going to be a little bit safer when it comes to DCU. Scott Snyder, I don't think you have to worry about, but I think that a lot of upper senior people are going to, especially now that they've had a chance to see how Ted Sarandos operates and see what his vision was, So yeah, I think that that's what's going to happen, but who knows? Can we do a fun watch party where we get to talk over a B movie of our choosing, like Night of the Creeps? Well, we've watched some shitty movies and we've talked over them, so yeah, I guess.
No,
Terrifiers, fake. That yoga scene from A Violent Nature was absolutely horrible. That rubber doll that they used to make her a pretzel, and I'm like, what the hell? And she's still standing after all that. I'm like, yeah, okay, what are we doing?
By the way, also a couple of fourth. Again, I've seen the trailer. And he also asked me, where is this one? Where's this one he asked me about with that? Oh yeah, same thing you said. Again, guys, you have to understand. I have to consider my own mental health here too. It's like if we're doing
I'll do it, but I don't have to be there.
If we're doing it for suicide prevention, but then what if it actually damages my own mental health? What if it actually?
Then your mental health wasn't strong to begin with.
With this franchise, no. It's like this.
If that damages your mental health, then you need to be seeing somebody right now. Anyway.
We're doing a charitable cause, but I want that charitable cause to be linked to something that people can actually not feel shame over.
Doesn't matter. We've watched worse movies than.
No, we haven't.
Look at them. Yes, we have.
No, we haven't.
We've watched some absolute trash, dude. All right, guys, I'm about to wind this down because my allergies are getting to me. Anybody got anything?
Is there a price for him? No. I'm not watching Scary Movie 6, guys. I don't know how many times I have to say it.
For me, it's $5. I'll go see it.
Yeah, okay. I will give it a price.
I would
$5.
no 500.
No, for me it's $5. It's not $5. It's
It'll be me doing it. So, you're no.
Oh, the Green Inferno, yeah.
Eli Roth that's to me. Those are two of his worst movies. I thought I understood what he was doing a Green Inferno.
It's basically his version of Cannibal Holocaust.
That's what it was, but you can't recreate that. And he tried, and it just didn't work for me. I hate the Hostel movies. I really, truly hate the Hostel. Hostel 2 is one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen.
Speaking of Eli Roth, I mean, it's like I'm sure you're still like the question on your mind is with Eli
Roth.
Well,
I know the answer. I know the answer with Thanksgiving, but I gotta wait till November, dude. I mean, I'm trying to make it to fucking. Give me to July before I start getting excited about that.
Well, is that locked? I'm on the Wikipedia for it now. It's like again because it's. Oh shit! You're gonna hate this. It says right here in January. I must have missed this. In January 2026, Roth stated that the reason the production where the sequel was postponed was due to Ray's tour schedule, which prevented her from filming because of Mannheim's casting live action version of Tangled. So, well,
that doesn't take long to make these movies.
Yeah.
I'm so sick and tired of people trying to say that Kevin Feige should have stood up for James Gunn when he got fired by Bob Iger. He did, and Bob Iger hired him back. They realized they made a mistake. So there were people in the company that did that, but he made that decision because he thought it was a bad look. But I think he overthought it, and then look what happened. I mean, he was hired back almost immediately, but he had already.
I mean, I've entertained, and other people have entertained that it was just like the whole thing was just like it wasn't even like an actual that they knew they were going to bring it back, but this is just like to quiet down the controversy long enough, and then like let him like bring him back so he can like ride back triumphantly into it.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the case because you leave him open to sign with someone else's, which is what he did. So, all right, guys. I think that's what I'm going to wrap it up.
Yeah, fourth, like I said, $5 billion. You pay $5 billion. I will see Scary Movie 3.
George Washington is correct.
Yes.
Brad doesn't have to be there.
Brad won't. No, not only will Brad not be there, I will prevent this from happening. I will not permit.
Yeah, okay, you got that kind of power.
All right, and also yes, happy 60th.
Yeah,
birthday,
happy 60th birthday. We covered that last night. Happy birthday, Zack Snyder, if you're watching. And I'm gonna wrap that up. I will see you guys tomorrow. We are going to do some AFSV stuff, and I will post that. I will see you guys tomorrow. And then No Topic Tuesday, and then Thursday, and then I've already gone over the schedule that we have, but I will start probably going to start making those streams so that you guys can set your schedule to them since I know what we're going to be doing. But hey, please like, subscribe, and if you spread the word, hit the alert bell. And if you're dealing with allergies, I hope you're having a better day than me. Until tomorrow evening, have a good night.
And that's saying something.